This is News 10.
As kids head back to school, there's a new state mandate requiring all public school districts to have a cardiac emergency response plan. Good evening, I'm David Andrews.
And I'm Ann Emmerich. Tonight, in a News 10 investigation, we found out how our school districts measure up to the new rule and why the state won't be enforcing it.
I need you guys to start heading for the high school. Rescue is on scene. They have CPR in progress for a student.
A high school track team practice ends with a 14-year-old girl in cardiac arrest.
Kids fall down after the races, sometimes catch their breath, they lay on the ground. But she laid on the turf and her body went rigid. You could just tell something was wrong.
Within seconds, Coach Andrew DeHaan was by her side.
After speaking with 911, I felt like her pulse was going away.
Another coach ran to the nearby concession stand to get an automated external defibrillator, or AED.
I started CPR as he ran away. We had to use the AED.
For Coach DeHaan, who just happens to be a nurse, a routine procedure on the job became a reminder why it's critical for schools to have a cardiac emergency response plan.
It's the first time I've had to do it outside the hospital, I must say, and on a 14-year-old athlete. It was definitely a shock to get all that started, but in the moment, you do what you have to do.
It's probably yours and you forgot about it.
Now, 6 months later, Alyssa Atkinson has a defibrillator implanted in her chest, and she's recently been given the clear to resume athletic activities.
It could have been so different if my coaches didn't know what they were doing.
Still to this day, I have no idea why this happened to her. We've had everything from MRIs, scans, EKGs, echoes, blood work, and they still cannot find a reason why this happened to her.
Less than a year before that moment, Governor Gretchen Whitmer joined the NFL's Damar Hamlin to sign a new law requiring every public school to have a cardiac emergency plan by this fall. It followed Hamlin's on-field cardiac arrest. Democrat John Fitzgerald was one of the lawmakers behind it.
What we really find is that this is something that schools have been preparing for decades. They've acquired the AED, they've acquired the knowledge, but to then actually put that in one place in a cardiac emergency response plan, to train for that, to be familiar with what will happen in that event, that may not be as formalized.
I asked public school districts in 4 mid-Michigan counties for their cardiac emergency response plans. Only one, DeWitt, fully complies with Michigan's 2024 law. Others, like Okemos, have very strong plans, but may be missing a requirement or two. However, just because it's not on paper doesn't mean districts are not ready. Michigan Center Schools Superintendent Brady Cook says he's glad the state is forcing every district to have a plan.
Based on some personal incidents and things I've witnessed, it's always been near and dear to me, but now we do appreciate that there is a law in place that will, for lack of a better term, force us to have these conversations.
For Cook, those conversations are personal. He survived cardiac arrest in 2019 and again in January of 2025. The second time was caught on a school gym surveillance camera. Cook, in the yellow shirt, leans over to catch his breath, then collapses. Within seconds, the men around him put a cardiac emergency response plan into action.
Within seconds, they called an ambulance, they grabbed an AED, and they administered CPR. And then when I came to, I ended up getting 7 shocks, and it got me back in rhythm and little hospital stay, and I'm good to go.
The shocks came from a defibrillator implanted in his side. If it failed, one of the men had already retrieved an AED from just outside the gym.
A very common thing is when someone goes down, a lot of people think it's a seizure, or they think the person passed out or something, not knowing that potentially the heart has stopped and oxygen is not getting to the brain. So the education that's a little more present now is that you need to respond as if it is a cardiac event, and you need to act quickly, because literally every second you don't, the potential for a bad outcome gets worse.
That urgency is what Michigan's My Heart Safe School program has pushed since 2013, honoring nearly 1,000 schools for cardiac safety. With many schools already prepared, the Education Department will not be enforcing the new law. It's strictly an honor system.
What we really find and expect is that schools will be able to take this information, adhere to it, because in the event of an accident, this is something that would probably be scrutinized.
That's why having a plan in place matters. And in Allen Park, they've taken that lesson to heart.
After my accident, they had the whole school just learn about it. Our
Faculty, the staff.
yeah, just teach them.
And she's been amazing. Watching her recover from this, I almost take inspiration in her. I'm just so thankful. I'm very, very thankful.
I've been coaching on and off for 18 years, and this is the first event like this we've ever had, and I'm thankful it was there.
Right now, the state law is not funded. State lawmakers still have to reconcile the House and Senate versions of next year's budget. The Senate version includes some money for the law. We have compiled many of the cardiac emergency response plans from districts across mid-Michigan. You can find them with this story on our website, WILX.com.
A live look over